Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Global Social Responsibility Challenge. I am thrilled to welcome you to the final round of the competition, uh, which is a highlight of Vista 2024. I am Bangalore's annual business summit. The Global Social Responsibility Challenge is more than just a competition. It is a call to action for students worldwide to channel their intellect, creativity, and passion into solving some of the most pressing issues our planet faces today. In this challenge, participants have delved into the critical areas of sustainability, social responsibility, and impact, pushing the boundaries of conventional thinking. This moment represents the culmination of your hard work, creativity, and dedication. You've already demonstrated exceptional skill to make it this far, and now you stand on the brink of potentially defining solutions that could shape a more sustainable future. Remember, it's not just about winning, it's about making a lasting impact. You are some of the brightest minds of your generation, and today you have the opportunity to contribute to a global movement that will shape the future. So, as you present your final strategies, think big, push the boundaries, and show us how your ideas can make a real difference. And joining us, we have the most wonderful panel of judges.
Hello everyone, and I'm thrilled to introduce our judge for the day, an eminent figure in marketing and in retailing industries, Samyukta Ganesh Iyer. As a Chief Experience Officer at Sephora and CMO for stellar brands like Kaya and Baskin Robbins, Samyukta has made a significant impact in transforming consumer experiences and driving brand innovation across the industry. With a career spanning over 2 decades, Samyukta has led marketing strategies for some of the most iconic brands such as Vaseline, Lakme, Asian Paints, and Fruity. Her expertise in developing innovative solutions and scaling successful marketing campaigns will provide invaluable insights to everyone. In addition to her impressive professional achievements, Samyukta is also an accomplished writer, having penned a book about a Jewish girl growing up in India. She is also a transformation corporate coach, and in this role, Samyukta is dedicated to spreading awareness about the critical role of emotional intelligence in the business world. Samyukta is also a three-time recipient of the prestigious Cannes Young Lion Award. And last but not the least, Samyukta is driven by her mission to create value for consumers and businesses through engaging and effective market solutions. We are incredibly honored to have Samyukta with us today as a judge for this competition, where her expertise and experience will undoubtedly inspire and challenge all the participants. Please join me in giving a huge round of applause for Samyukta Ganesh here.
Thank you.
Amongst our esteemed judges here today is Mr. Hardik Jagra. Mr. Jagra is a distinguished entrepreneur, investor, and an engineer, currently serving as the founder, chairman, and CEO at Proximity Works. He's based in Palo Alto, California, where he leads the company's vision to revolutionize AI, SaaS, and performance engineering across the globe. Mr. Jagra is also the chairman of Proximity Foundation, an initiative dedicated to transforming the lives of underprivileged women and children through equitable access to education. With over a decade of experience, Mr. Jagra has successfully founded and scaled several companies under the Proximity Works umbrella, boasting partnerships with leading names like NASDAQ, Disney, and ESPN. Notably, Mr. Hardik's career has been marked with his passion for solving complex problems with technology and creating value for long term. Before founding Proximity, he led the engineering teams at several startups, consistently driving innovation and growth. On the education front, Mr. Jagra holds a Bachelor's of Science in Information Technology from the University of Mumbai. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Hardik Jagra, a visionary leader shaping the future of AI and technology.
Vedant, it's a privilege to be here.
Thank you, judges. Thank you, Ms. Khan and Vedant. So we can start off with the presentation for the day. The first presentation is by Team Alchemists. So guys, take it on.
Yeah, thanks, Mugga. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
And good morning to all the judges. I'll share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, yes.
I'll just make it full screen. I hope it's good.
Mhm.
So I'll start my presentation now. So I'm Yashwant Nandi. My topic says climate agnostic onion storage structures. So what I'm going to discuss today is one of the major problems faced by farmers of India, especially for onion farmers. So this is the context. As we see, Indian farmers suffer due to volatility of prices. Why? Because if you see in the case of onions, in one season we buy onions at 5 rupees per kg. In another season, one might have to shell out 120 rupees for buying the same 1 kilo of onions. So why does this happen? That was the question in my hand. And what I did was I went ahead and stayed with a rural farmer how to address this problem. I studied the complete value chain by staying at a tribal farmer in a rural part of Maharashtra for 9 weeks. Uh, During the 9 weeks, I understood that the there is significant losses in the storage structure aspect of it. The losses can range from 30 to 40%, and it can go as high as 70% also. So why does this happen? So you see it as in the graph also, and as the charts represent, the Rabi harvested onions are stored somewhere till Diwali, from April to October. And during this long duration of storage, the existing technology are not decent enough to mitigate the storage losses. So that's where I identified there is a significant, very significant intervention of technology is required. And then I started building on it. So here's what my solution is. After I stayed at the farmer's place for 9 weeks. I observed that the above, if you see in the middle, the first open ventilated storage structure, that is what government provides to the farmers on a subsidized rates. But these come with a very huge amount of losses. What I did was converting it into a retrofitted climate agnostic structures. If you see, I only partially divided it for experimenting what is the condition outside and inside. That's the reason. But in general, it should be full. So I designed the system with a microclimate conditioning and monitoring. I also designed gas-based forewarning system, electronic nose, just like a human nose, which will predict, okay, the onions are going to spoil in 1 week or 15 days, sell the onions. That's how farmer can be empowered. So this is the storage structure of aspect of it. After developing it, I saw that regardless of how good your storage structure is, your pre-harvest stage is very important. That's why after the first cycle of studying this structure, we intervened on the pre-harvest aspect of it also, and we tried to provide knowledge to farmers, providing high quality seeds and educating with the best practices. So this cycle is going on, and we'll get the result. And the future aspect we are considering is working on a post-harvest, what we call post-storage as well. So I'll continue with this and tell you brief about how the technology works. So in this technology, we are using different equipments inside the storage system. This is the technological aspect of it. That's what you see here, operation of technology. And we regulate temperature, relative humidity. Airflow is very important in the case of onions because of the gases that are released from it. We also has, as I told you, have a forewarning system which will sense the gases just like a human nose. That was developed during my stint at IIT Bombay. That will tell you, okay, onions are going to spoil, so sell it. So these are the major technological intervention. You can see temperature and relative humidity. The blue color lines show the ambient temperature, and the gray color and orange color ones shows the temperature and relative humidity inside this system. That's where you see the control system. This experiment was performed on the field, on the ground. So where my technology is positioned. So there are two types of technology in this space: open ventilated storage structure, which come with high amount of losses; cold storage structures, which come with high capital investment and energy consumption. So we are targeting somewhere in the middle. So the positioning is in the middle. We have a climate agnostic structure which has medium initial investment, medium operational expenditure, and medium amount of losses. So the losses are reduced by 50%. That's what we saw after experimentation. So this was the first project that we implemented in Nashik, where we saw that the we got the funding from Tata Motors CSR wing, and the second one was we received award from Ministry of Consumer Affairs. We also got funding from them. We showed them proof of concept, we showed them product development, and finally we went to field dissemination stage. And finally, the third one is we got funding from World Bank. That is construction is going on in Parbhani College of Agriculture College. Here we got 40 lakhs funding. So we are constructing 100 metric ton storage structure. So this is a brief economics of this storage structure. The construction, so the onion cultivation cost comes down to around 80,000 rupees or 8 rupees per kg of onion in general, or it can go low as 6 rupees. But if you consider the payback period of it, it can come down to 2.5 to 3 years approximately. That's what we calculated. If the volatility is huge, in that case, you can get a payback period in 2 years also. I have invested my own money and saw that you can get it as very early. That's what I understood with this technology. So I'll just tell you how we are going to intervene in the market. So there is a need gap. There is a huge amount of losses that come with it, and what we have the customer has three options: cold storage structure, climate agnostic storage structure, and the traditional ventilated storage structure. As I told you, we are positioned in the middle. Between the cold storage structure and the traditional open ventilated storage structure. And who are going to be our customers? Our customers are going to be government, farmer, and CSR funding and non-profit. So we are when I say government, we are currently in touch with NCCF. As per the discussion, if you know, these onions are stored for 6 months by government as well. They store around 1 crore kilos of onions. And then sell it in the market when the prices are high, like it's like 100 rupees per kg. Then they release in the market to stabilize the rates. So this will also help in stabilizing export-import policies as well. I can discuss more on that, but because of want of time, I'm not doing it now. So we have customer acquisition channel. We'll do direct acquisition from by word of mouth, by interacting with government, CSR, and non-profit. And in indirect channels, of course, people can talk about our technology and we get to each other. That's what happened in the case of second structure that we implemented. People told about this structure and then they approached us. So the revenue sources will be, we will do direct selling, renting, and partnership model. I'll discuss more on it. So this is a brief canvas that I developed based on key resources and stakeholders. I see that time is taking up, so I'll skip this slide, but briefly tell you the products. We have a product range of above 100 metric ton, below 100 metric ton, and an electronic nose which will sense the gases. So these are the three main products. And this is the cost effectiveness where we have calculated the margin. So the net profit per kilo of onion that farmer gets is 7 to 10 rupees, and the operation cost is ranges from 1 to 2 rupees. And as the number of the quantum of storage increases, the cost of operating cost also comes down significantly. And above 100 metric ton, the profits can be realized very, very well. However, you did below 25 metric ton, the economics are not so great, and profits it is difficult to realize profit, or it will take a longer payback period. So this is the current status. As I told you, we got funding from World Bank under the project on climate resilient agriculture. This we are implementing in Parbhani Agriculture College, VNMKV Parbhani, and we are going ahead with it. I think this season it's not possible to test, but next season it should be available. It's a large structure of 100 metric ton. So this is the award that we received from Ministry of Consumer Affairs. They came and tested our structure and saw what our structure offers. And we were also awarded by Honorable Minister of Environment, Ashwini Chaubey. And look at this, what Piyush Goyal sir have to say about us.
मुझे याद है कि ग्रैंड अनियन चैलेंज जब 1-1.5 साल से विचार करते थे, तो हमने शुरू किया मुंबई में। मुझे खुशी है कि आज उसके विजेताओं को हमने सम्मानित किया, और उम्मीद है कि इनकी टेक्नोलॉजीज के माध्यम से आगे चल के जो वोलेटिलिटी है अनियन प्राइसेस में, इसमें हम नियंत्रण ला पाए.
So that's what he wants. So government launched the open challenge. If anyone can bring a solution on volatility of onion prices. So we were the part of it. We proposed our idea and they proposed. So our target is to achieve. So I will end my slide almost. So our target is to achieve 30% retrofitting, that existing converting the existing storage structure of 25 metric ton that is government subsidized, and achieve target of 10% climate agnostic large storage structures of 2000 metric ton each in collaboration with farmer producer organizations and the government. So as I said, 3 models of sale, make and sale, direct structures, rental, and ownership model. So that's it. Thank you for presenting, for allowing present opportunity. So that's it. Sorry. So I'm open for questions. I hope 10 minutes are done.
Should I go first? First of all, great job, Yaswant. I think excellent presentation as well. And I love the fact that you're already in the field and it's not a theory. And yeah, I just have a few questions. And I love the fact that you spend time on the ground, which is what is needed, right? So you spend 9 weeks and live with a rural farmer. That's perfect to understand the environment and understand the nitty-gritties there. What I want to understand is from the adoption point of view. I think I missed that. How many deployments you have so far?
Yes, sir. So we have currently made 3 deployments, as you can see on the screen. First one we have done at Nashik. This is a small pilot study one we conducted for around 8 metric ton. Feed is in Maharashtra itself. So
No,
that
at your
was
full scale. Yeah, at your full scale. Right?
Okay, sorry. Sorry. So this is one. Bead for this we have done for 15 ton, and we have successfully shown this to World Bank. Then we got a funding of 40 lakhs. So that's what we are constructing. So this is the one we are constructing at Agriculture College in Parbhani, and this is we are going to give it as on a rental model. Other first 2 ones are smaller ones, so we are going to do it as a. It was a grant study, but a grant that we got in the first 2 cases. But of course, that is the smaller structure or for selling.
Okay, and is it just limited to onion storage, or can you support any other kind of?
It can be stored, but only on a horticulture produce. Onions are the major thing that are going to give you profits. At least when I say 100 ton, you can store, but 100 metric ton horticulture produce, generally, if you say tomatoes, they are not stored for as long as more than 15 days. So in the smaller structures, farmer can do that because, of course, families, I have seen families doing it, but it's just that we need to tweak the conditions. I know the condition, for example, onion needs only 60 to 65 degree relative humidity. In the case of tomatoes, I need to raise the relative humidity to 85% and decrease the temperature as well. So that tweaking we need to do on an equipment part. The rest all we can store other thing. But of course, I'm not talking about wheat or rice. I'm only talking about horticulture produce. That's what is the structure most suitable for.
And what is the engineering behind the climate agnostic structure? What kind of equipment are you using?
Sir, we are using humidification control equipment. So we are using dehumidifier. We are using humidifier. We have used created a sensing system based on the outside weather. It will regulate inside. It's a kind of smart monitoring where we will regulate the temperature. For example, if the temperature of we have made it smart by if you say the temperature outside is itself of 25-26 degrees Celsius, then inside control system will work in such a way that it consumes least amount of electricity. So that's the first thing. We have also used the spoilage forewarning system, the gas-based one that I talked about. I can tell more about it as well. We have used the technological called adiabatic evaporative cooling. So evaporative cooling doesn't work in general because of what we call the high humidity that it releases. Evaporative cooling, that's what it says. So the high relative humidity makes it unsuitable, but we have used adiabatic evaporative cooling. I was working under Professor Amit Arora from IIT Bombay. So when we developed it, so finally we were successful in getting a stable temperature and relative humidity at tweaking the model to a specific aspect. The specific aspect is like the amount of air from outside and inside that we are using for treatment. So that's what.
Is it entirely automated, as in your thermostat, how you are managing the outside temperatures, or do you require human intervention to keep tweaking the weather, the temperature inside?
Yeah, no technician or farmer is required. Farmer regularly monitors it. Once a day is fine. and complete the system is completely automated, at least for this year cycle. Last year we were testing, so it was done on a manual basis, and we were continuously doing testing and checking out. But this year, whatever we have implemented in all the places, it's completely automated. We have created a control system with the help of collaborating with a separate organization called SIFA Electronic Enterprises.
Okay, thank you. No more questions from me.
Thank you, sir.
So hi, Ashwant and team. I think first off, excellent job done on just the energy and passion, I think was just showing. The fact that you went there and, because this is what we call as immersive marketing, right? Like you can't not know your consumer and then kind of find solutions. I think for us, it was like a huge tick in the box saying that, okay, that itself gave us a lot of confidence. The fact that you've already like gotten people to believe in you, funded, I think all of that, great, very good. Just had a few thoughts around each of those stakeholders that you showed on one slide, saying that these are the people whom we will be speaking to. One, what are the kind of resistance that you faced, or you can preempt that you will face when you get into the scalability of the same model? Because right now you've done a beta, you've gotten your funding, you've proven that it works. All of that initial phase, you've actually cleared a lot of it. When you're going to launch this at scale, how do you kind of plan to do that? Where do you see the roadblocks kind of happening, and how do you plan to overcome those challenges?
True, ma'am. I've identified this because I was working on field itself. And before that, I would like to thank for your appreciation on my conviction. It really, really boosts my morale. So when I interacted with the stakeholders, the first major problem that even I face today is that proving my technology. At least for government, it's okay. Government is now government has monitored and tested and ready to have understood that we are decent enough to implement. But when it comes to farmers, especially rural farmers who own around 4 to 5 acres of land, and their overall family land is less than 10 acres, what happens is when a new technology comes, there is a lack of adoption. They'll say, what if I store onion and it gets spoiled? And this is the question. And how we can prove it is the only thing that I had in my mind. And the major problem which comes with this kind of structures is that you need to do it in a complete cycle of 6 months and then show the results. Okay, this is the result, then go ahead. That's why although the technology we were working on was developed in 2023 completely, but scaling up is scaling up will be gradual. So how we will prove it? So the best thing we can do is take the videos of the farmers, their reviews, the reviews from the government, and post it on the social media. We have done that as well. So that spreads immensely. That's what we have seen. And everyone in the farmers have mobile, and especially when this kind of thing comes into their mobile, and they are definitely curious. And many have farmers and farmer producer organizations have approached us also for the construction of these type of structures. So that helped in our case. That I think that answers my question. So your question. Is there anything else that I can answer? So social media is one thing that I would say broadly that helped after the review, the first few cycles that we have implemented. So that adoption was the challenge, and we have overcome through that.
Understood. I think, yeah, at the ground level, I think that there will be an adoption challenge because people have been doing this for decades, years, family businesses. So, that there is going to be that. Yeah, just go beyond social media. My only recommendation would be go beyond social media to see what are the channels they're using for communication. It could be a lot of off-ground, activation part that you could actually initiate in order to get the message through to each of these places. Also, yours is largely right now in Maharashtra. So if you have to kind of scale this to other places as well.
Yeah, mostly
onion farming largely Maharashtra. I'm not sure if I understand the subject of onion farming that well, but is it largely like a Maharashtra-led thing, or is it like scalable across other places as well?
So when I say why I started in Maharashtra, Maharashtra is the largest onion producer. And by the way, I forgot to tell you, India is the largest producer of onion. Earlier it was China. From 2022 onwards, India became world's largest producer of onion with 25% share share of overall production in the world. So coming to the question, so Maharashtra is the major largest cultivator of onion in India. However, the belt starts from the onion cultivation belt starts from Karnataka, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh. So this is the belt. We are majorly going to look for this belt which stretches till Bihar and Odisha. The construction of storage structure, at least in the case of it's not possible in Jammu Kashmir, or let's say I don't see any structures that are built in Himachal Pradesh or something like that. But we'll majorly focus on the belt onion belt that is there in the middle of the country, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and this Uttar Pradesh region.
Got it. So Yashwant, very quickly in the I'm cognizant of time here. Just wanted to check a lot of all the solution right now is in the middle part of the supply chain, which is the storage part of it. What happens once it reaches your e-com players and it reaches the retail outlets? This the post-harvest part of it. So will you be taking this solutioning into those guys as well? Because a lot of times you end up getting a lot of bad produce at home. How will you tackle that? Will you like kind of scale this? Is there plans to scale it to them as well?
Yes, ma'am. We have, as I told you, this slide says that we have implemented in first of this. We have made a solved in middle aspect, left aspect. We are working this year. The next year cycle we are going to work on a right side aspect of it. Although we have basic models for onion pricing that is built so that we can tell the farmers when to sell. And also we have forewarning system as well, which will tell the onions are going to spoil in the market if they enter the market later than this, so sell it now. So the quality of onion problem is reduced. That's the major thing, at least as far as concerned, because we have a gas sensing system which will tell, the onions are going to spoil in 15 days, so don't keep it now, sell it before it goes to consumer. And then we are going to, I'm thinking of collaborating with different traders in this. We can't directly go ahead with e-commerce platform or retail outlet with such a huge amount of production. Like if I say 25 metric ton is a huge, we can't go ahead to directly a Zepto and say, we have this produce maybe. But we will first look on APM Mandi, APMC, and then we will venture into slowly venture into that retail aspect of it. So that's going to be slow. I'll accept it, and our intervention will be slow from our side as well, unless we are perfecting each and every aspect of it. So of course, we will work on APMC part of it in the next season.
Got it. Perfect. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Yashwant. So next up, we have Team AFIS from Indonesia. Can you please share your screen?
Okay, let me start the presentation for our team. Is my voice audible?
Yes.
Okay. Let us meet Zidane, a cheerful boy who always looks forward to mealtime. But don't you see there's something odd? Every time he finishes eating, his plate always has leftovers, whether it's a small fish bone or the end of vegetable or even disliked food. And Zidane isn't alone. All over the world, there are many kids like Zidane who have similar habits. In fact, Indonesia has one of the highest rates of food waste in the world, ranking among the top 4 countries with a staggering 20.9 million tons of food wasted each year. According to the National Waste Management Information System, a whopping 40.6% of all waste in Indonesia is food waste, and an astonishing nearly 50% of that comes from households. This means that millions of tons of food, enough to feed many hungry people, are simply thrown away every year. While Zidane and millions of Indonesians are wasting food, there are children like Chika who don't have enough to eat. Chika lives in a small village and often goes to bed hungry. Her family struggles to put food on the table, and she dreams of a day when she can eat her fill. Little does she know that the food she longs for is often wasted by others just a few miles away. It's a heartbreaking irony that while millions of Indonesian people are wasting so much food, children like Chika are undernourished. Indonesia, as Chika's home country, has one of the highest rates of stunting in the world, with over 30% of children under 5 years old experiencing stunted growth. This means millions of Indonesian children like Chika are growing up shorter and have impaired brain development due to chronic malnutrition. But there is hope. We can change this. That's why we have created Farmhouse, a sustainable system for hydroponic farming, poultry, maggot cultivation, and aquaculture to combat food waste, enhance family nutrition, prevent stunting, and boost household productivity. Its elegant design allows it to seamlessly blend into any outdoor space, making it a stylish and functional addition to our home. Furthermore, the farmhouse system leverages IoT technology to provide efficient monitoring and management capabilities. The Farmhouse app is a comprehensive companion for users of the Farmhouse integrated farming system. Designed with a user-friendly interface, this app offers a wealth of features to help users manage their urban gardens effortlessly. From detailed plant information and video tutorials to supportive community and real-time monitoring capabilities, the Farmhouse app provides everything you need to cultivate your own fresh produce. With its intuitive design and accessible features, the app makes gardening and farming enjoyable and rewarding for users of all levels.
We will also prioritize strategic and ethical consideration because Farmhouse represents more than just a smart farming solution. It also embodies a proactive approaches to tackling global challenges and promoting SDGs, especially the second, third, fifth, and 12th SDG goals. Our ethical standard and social responsibility, including promoting fair trade, community engagement, environmental stewardship, and user data privacy and security. And next, for our SWOT analysis, our strength lies in our innovative technology integration, focus on sustainability and empowerment of local communities. However, we face challenges such as high initial investment and the need for technological infrastructure. And the opportunities are significant, especially in expanding to smaller cities and forming government and CSR partnership with companies. And on the other hand, we must navigate potential threats like market competition and regulatory challenges. And with the total population of 142 million on Java, with 65% of the population live in metropolitan and urban areas, and the rest resident in rural regions, our primary target market consists of middle-low income households in metropolitan and urban areas, which give us an access to approximately 46 potential users across Java. For our go-to-market strategy, our primary target market is middle to low income households, while we also focus on schools, government institutions, communities with a strong interest in sustainable development and food security. Our value proposition is to empower individuals and communities through food waste reduction, enhance nutrition, and increase productivity. Our strategy involves a comprehensive marketing plan, including branding, content marketing, social media, influencer partnership, public relation, and educational campaigns. A robust sales pipeline covers a lead generation through customer onboarding, and value-based pricing with tiered option and bulk bundling will be implemented. And our KPIs, including web traffic, social media engagement, lead conversion, customer acquisition costs, customer lifetime value, ROI, and social impact metrics will be used. And this strategy aims to increase brand awareness, achieve 10% market penetration rate, build a loyalty customer base, and generate positive social impact.
How will we implement this technology? Our implementation plan consists of several key stages: R&D, establishing partnership, infrastructure development, community training, and app development. We'll begin pilot projects in selected communities, collect feedback, and make necessary improvement before expanding regionally. Next, let's analyze the cost and benefits. The initial investment includes the development of apps, R&D, and also legal costs totaling of $317,000. Additionally, the cost of producing and distribution of our product priced at $250 each, with a selling price of $627, shows a promising profit margin of $377 per unit. This 60% margin clearly indicates that in the long run, Farmhouse financials are robust and sustainable. Our expansion strategy is phased to ensure sustainable growth by building a strong customer base in major cities like Jabodetabek area. In the following years, we'll focus on building a strong presence in Java cities like Bandung, Yogyakarta, and Surabaya. From year 4 onwards, we'll target the second and third tier cities, where residents here are often have stronger community bonds and are more open to new opportunities. By expanding to these areas, we can drive local economic growth and build strong, engaged user customer. By 2030 onwards, our goal is to expand nationally, reaching other major islands like Sumatra, Sulawesi, Kalimantan, and also Papua. With an assumption that we can acquire 10% of the target market in every city, and also with the initial investment stated, we will generate a massive $1 million profit within 5 years. Also, our BEP is projected at 4 years and the average ROI of 79% per year. These metrics align with our goals of community empowerment and sustainability, making Farmhouse a viable long-term investment. Farmhouse delivers long-term benefits across several dimensions, such as environmentally and socially. The positive impacts of these long-term benefit impacts to all the stakeholders and local communities, from local communities and also to the investor, ensuring long-term value and collaborative success. According to data by FAO, 1/3 of the food produced is lost globally. With Farmhouse, we committed to reducing food waste by up to 99% and contributing to better nutrition and economic empowerment, especially for women. Farmhouse is set to a meaningful difference in our society.
Our recent proof of concept with 151 neighborhood units and 2 high school in Cipinang Melayu, East Jakarta, we doubled mustard green yields and reduced harvest time from 30 to 25 days. This success showcased the system effectiveness and financial benefits, with user earning up to $188 from the Farmhouse package. Involving school helped empower children to influence their parents, driving more families to join Farmhouse and support local food security. Let me share some helpful testimonial from our user. A grandmother loved Farmhouse because fresh ingredients make her cooking delicious and priced by her family. It makes her happy to see everyone enjoying the meals. Her grandson also loves Farmhouse because it's like having a music at home. Plus, she even makes that some money from her. Her husband added that the best part is they can manage everything from their phone. He joked that it's so easy even their cat can handle it. This testimonial has got the real positive impact Farmhouse has on people's lives. In comparing Farmhouse with our
Team, you're not audible.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, let me overtake it. So in comparing a Farmhouse with our competitors like Yoso Farm, Mama Pertanian, and Koperasi Indonesia, our key differentiators stand out. First, we integrated the IoT system and automation for real times. So this aspect's position Farmhouse is so unique in our market, especially in Indonesia. Now, I'd like to introduce you to the dedicated team behind this innovative project. Meet the ACES. Elisa Hutami is our visionary CEO, Putri Suli as our efficient COO, me, myself, Brilian Arbianto as our strategic CFO, and Ida Ayu Bolivia as our visionary CMO. Together, we're driving Farmhouse forward. And I would like to close our presentation with a quote. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. Together, we can build a sustainable future. And let us join Farmhouse. Thank you.
Good job, guys. Can you go back to the solution slide once again?
This one, sir?
Yeah. What's the cost of implementing this in one
It's
location?
in one location. So people just have to
Yeah.
buy this so-called machine. So it costs around $327. I mean 627. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 327 was your profit, I think.
Actually, in this.
Yeah, profit of 377. Got it. And in terms of your competition, how much is the cost for the competition?
So actually, we have several differences with the other competitors because they just for example, Mama for Planets is only focusing on the cultivation and also wait, sir, let me proceed to the slide member first. So the Mama for Planets only for the cultivation, and the Koperasi of Indonesia is only focusing on distribution itself, and Yoso is smart farming integration, but they don't use the maggots. So we have an additional maggot. So the waste from the cultivation is, the production from the cultivation will not be wasted. And it can be eaten by the maggot. And if the maggot have several produces, it can be eaten by the fishes below it.
Okay, yeah, but you didn't answer my question. What's the cost for the products, your competition's products that are available in the market right now? I understand the differences what you are providing, but the competitors that you have in the market right now, are they providing solutions?
Yeah.
How much is the cost for that solution?
The cost is pretty much the same. For Indonesian rupiah is 10 million rupiah until 15 million rupiah. So it's around $600 and $800. So
okay, and you are 677,
yeah,
627.
$627.
So you are in line with the competitors' prices right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. No more questions right now.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So I had the same question. I want to understand the product a little better. So thank you for walking us through that. I just had a quick question on the insight itself. Is there a need for urban farming as a concept in Indonesia right now? Are people doing it already? I mean, you do have competitors who are there, but what's the scope of something like this? Is it a growing trend? Is it something that people are comfortable? Is it something they're doing? Is it going to be easy to maintain something like this at home? Because a farmer picking up something like this, or even a school for that matter, adopting a concept like this could work. In urban living, are people okay to actually, grow their own produce at home? And like, how is it going to work with, say, somebody who doesn't understand it at all? How will it work with someone like that?
Okay, so there's this trend in Indonesia like vertical farming in the urban areas because there is smaller and smaller land to be in our metropolitan and also urban area. So the vertical farming is the solution. So we are we are combining the vertical farming and the stunting problem in Indonesia with this solution. So actually, some of the Indonesians have already done this, but not in the integrated farming system. They just grow their own needs, like growing their own chilies at home and farming their own chicken at home, and also maybe growing their own onion at home. But we came with the smart solution to integrate all of them. So all of the food that they needed, except from the carbohydrate, will be served in their own home. So I hope, and also after proving the concept of the pilot project in Cipinang Melayu, this is well welcomed by the people in the urban area in East Jakarta.
Okay. And have you all tried this in any of the housing societies or in urban living? Because I did see a slide that mentioned low and middle income households was what you all were targeting from a
Yeah.
DG perspective. So have you all done any proof of concept with those guys there?
Yeah, we've done it with these guys in Cipinang Melayu, but we are targeting another communities in Jakarta within the next few months, because it is so hard for us to implement this technology because of the bureaucracy of the Indonesian government itself. For your to be clear, the cost of this the integrated farming system is around $600 US. and the cost of the motorcycles in Indonesia itself is 3 times of this cost. So and almost 70% of Indonesian have the motorcycles. So the $600 of this integrated farming system for their own consumption, I mean for their own primary needs is I mean it's affordable, and we hope that this will be benefited for them.
Okay. I
Okay,
wish you all the best. Thank you so much for a nice presentation.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Towards the closing, have you so $600 is pretty expensive for a low and middle income household, right? To implement this in every household.
Okay, to be clear, sir, middle low income household in Jakarta is $400 $400 per month. So if we can, I mean, they could pay us with, credit cards or others payment methods. So they can maybe within 12 or 24 months, they can pay us with $20, just $20 per month. So it's still affordable enough. But we are also do some effort to partnering with CSR companies. I mean, implementing this strategy with the companies who want to realize their CSR program. But we're just sending our proposal until this day and haven't.
Yeah, but there are hindrances, and there are very like a lot of operational and logistical challenges in the execution itself, right? So even if you get the CSR funding, it's you who have to, in the end, go and get this done in the end. Have you thought about open sourcing your entire solution? Maybe creating some videos online and giving that access to the people to do it by themselves? How hard is it for somebody to build it by themselves?
We just done it by come to their communities and show them how to do this. We haven't done any some sort of video online and post it online. We haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I think because if you get mass adoption by people doing it by themselves, then you can come up with a slightly premium offering, and then you can build a business around it. But like it's in terms of getting this implemented, like you said, right? Like the cost of the bike is more expensive than the overall solution itself. So just doing all the logistical challenges, I feel if you tried open sourcing it and creating a video and seeing if societies or communities can implement it themselves by coming together, then you can build something which is a higher tier that you can sell them on top of that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. That's all.
Great. Thank you, team. Thank you, judges. Next up, we have a team from IIT Bombay. So please present your team.
Greetings, judges. I hope my screen is visible. Yeah, we are Team IIT Bombay, and so this is our team. Over to my teammate to present a solution.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sejal Sherkar. We are a team from IIT Bombay. So I'll be introducing our topic for today's presentation. Our solution focuses on CCUS systems. To highlight the urgency, global energy-related CO2 emissions reached a record high of 37.4 billion tons in 2023, according to International Energy Agency. This calls for a dire need to address global warming. Hence, we decided to propose something along the lines of CCUS, which is one of the state-of-the-art upcoming technologies. Our end-to-end solution is designed to address two sustainability challenges simultaneously. That is carbon capture and plastic reduction. More than 500 tons of PET plastics are generated annually by ONG companies. Our technology can help tackle this problem. The process for this technology works as follows. Initially, the PET plastic are carbonized to convert it into jar. which is then activated with KOH to make PTAC, further undergoing chlorination, followed by compression to make the carbon seeds, which are then outsourced to LGD manufacturers. The direct air capture is just a complementary process, but our primary solution focuses on converted PET plastics to carbon seeds. Next slide will be taken up by Harsh.
Yeah, so the CCUS solution we proposed was benchmarked against the other the common CCUS systems already implemented. So although the TRL for the capture or utilization system we have proposed is a bit nascent, we see that evolving or ramping up rapidly over the next few years through R&D because of the relatively low cost and the higher efficiency of these systems. So if we compare, say, PET plastics, the carbon capture cost is around $36 to $60 per ton CO2, whereas it's relatively much higher, around thrice or 4 times in the other systems. And at the same time, the conversion to carbon seeds, when compared to, say, conversion to alcohols or enhanced oil recovery, is giving us or the ONG companies around 90 to 100 USD per ton CO2 in revenues through the sales of these carbon seeds, while at the same time, the efficiency of carbon capture is around 22 ton CO2 per, say, carat of LGDs that we are generating, which is much, much higher than the conventional systems used right now. At the same time, the integrability and the technical complexity of these systems is relatively lower, which is why we propose these to be implemented in the ONG companies.
Right. So here we'll focus on one specific impact of where we want our idea to translate into a supply chain. So in these oil and gas facilities, we will implement our solution of this carbon capturing unit, which will produce this thing known as a carbon seed. And these carbon seeds are what we're selling to external consumers. Now, there are many examples of external consumers that we'll want to source them to, external customers that we want to source these seeds to. One example is an LGD producer. LGD stands for a lab-grown diamond. What we want to do is we want to make these carbon seeds and outsource them to a company which produces lab-grown diamonds. An example of these companies that exist today is Greenlime. It's a very popular manufacturer in India which makes lab-grown diamonds. And the question that we were faced with is why not enter this lab-grown diamond market directly? Why not make the seeds and then produce the diamonds? There are several reasons for it. Number one being that the B2B market is much easier to capture rather than going D2C. The other fact is that there is a high scope and demand for R&D in carbon seeds, which these already pre-existing companies have a first mover's advantage at. So directly sourcing them is much more profitable than going into this business by ourselves. Next slide.
Coming to the business development strategy, we have to partner with two key stakeholders. The first would be waste management companies for low-cost procurement of PETs. And the second would be LGD manufacturers for outsourcing these carbon seeds, which will be generating revenue. So we've tried to come up with a 25-year timeline to implement a solution, and it has been broken down into 5 stages. In the 0 to 3 year phase, R&D and lab testing will take place to evaluate the efficiency and scalability of these plastic-based adsorbents. The 3 to 7 year mark will be required for running pilots to check the feasibility of a solution, which will be further followed by commercialization. We have the break-even period at around 20 years, effectively 12 years after the final setup, after the final infrastructural setup has been done, and the production of carbon seeds has already started. We've also tried to map out a comprehensive financial analysis. Here, we've considered the market value of lab-grown diamonds, along with the capex and opex for the adsorption system, to arrive at a break-even of 12 years, along with a total of 4,000 tons of CO2 capture. We've attached a final link to our Excel, which details out all the calculations done.
And finally, to provide an end-to-end implementation solution to the ONG companies, we also have analyzed the risks in implementing this solution based on a calculation that we've attached later. Again, so this just entails what factors are critical to look at by the ONG companies while implementation of such a nascent solution. So operational constraints and the environmental risk are factors that might hold a high risk number, which are, say, factors that the companies need to focus on compared to, say, market acceptance or regulations. On the other hand, we've also highlighted the benefits of our solutions to the ONG companies anywhere globally. One, naturally, they're like we stated earlier, they contribute to two of our objectives simultaneously. One is carbon capture, and the other is plastic neutrality. Our solution also contributes to the extended EPR responsibility of such companies, especially in countries like India, where the government mandates ONG companies to have certain EPR responsibilities. This solution, by implementing it in the system, it itself does not require, say, companies to go out of their way to have other measures in place, and this in turn improves the market position and the image of these companies. And additionally, we are also providing the ONG companies with a source of revenue which is delivering a high value product, which is the lab grown diamonds coming from the carbon seeds. That brings us to the end of the presentation. We have just highlighted, we've just added some supporting data and our financials, as well as the risk analysis system used in our calculations earlier. That brings us to the end of the presentation. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to present. We'll be happy to take any questions from the judges.
What are the budgets that the standard budgets that ONG companies have allocated towards carbon neutrality and EPR initiatives?
Could you repeat your question? It was a bit.
Yeah, I'm saying, what are the budgets that ONG companies have allocated towards carbon neutrality and their EPR initiatives?
So again, that varies from company to company.
For Indian Oil, we had done this research for Indian Oil in particular in collaboration with them.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, the budget was around 2,000 crores for building for getting their goal towards net zero. That's what they had.
Yeah, but 2,000 crores over how long? What's the period there?
I think the period is not. It's like it's an over the period investment, so there's no timeline to it.
Yeah, that's what.
Mm.
Every budget has a timeline to it. It could be like a 10-year goal or a
Probably not
20-year
aware.
goal or a 5-year goal.
Not aware of it.
Okay. No, because your capex cost is around 2.5 million, and you're going to take 12 years to break even. I'm just trying to understand why would they adopt a solution?
So the approach is phased. Because it is a new technology, the break-even period is for, say, one refinery. So if it is a phased approach, the capital might be recovered faster. However, again, these numbers were developed with our mentor, who guided us with some reasonable estimates over the sessions we had earlier. So our original break-even period was a bit earlier, and they suggested us. So our mentor was the energy transition lead at Shell, and they told us that 10 to 15 years would be a reasonable break-even period, based on how CCUS systems are implemented in their operations.
Samyukta, you want to add anything?
So first off, team, thank you for all the effort that you'll put in, making the presentation and presenting it well. So good job done there. On this entire, I'm going to continue on the adoption bit that, was asked previously. Still a little unclear on, given the long timeline, and you did mention that the source came from somebody in the industry, currently doing a role like this. Having said that, how will you get people to adopt something like this, and why should they adopt something like this? Why is it so different from anything else in the market that will get you guys to get them to adopt this immediately?
So currently the best way to reach net zero emissions, which is also the goal of India to reach by 2050, CCUS systems has been widely adopted globally as well. But in India, there's a certain reluctance to adopt it since there's a lack of technology right now. But India has also laid down a proper roadmap. By 2070, they want to achieve net zero emissions, and CCUS systems is something they had in line to align with the goal. So this is the best technology to reduce carbon emissions in the way that it all the renewable energy and green energy might be alternatives to currently coal generated power, so which is irreplaceable in effect. So these are the systems which will be able to capture CO2 with, and it's widely adopted by the leading countries as well.
Adding on to that, so there traditionally to reach net zero, there are two methods. One is that you reduce your own carbon footprint, and the other is you get carbon outside of the atmosphere. So this is a more active approach as compared to the others. So oil and gas companies, which
We are sorry to interrupt. We're not at all denying that there's a need for this, and it's absolutely required. It's just the solution that you built, how feasible that is, and why would a company pay that money to do it, is what we're trying to understand
Exactly.
from an
adoption point of view.
So in terms of the output that we're getting from the system, output which is categorized in terms of how much carbon we are able to sequester, that is very, very high. The estimate of that, I currently we don't have that, but from our initial research, we find that this system will be much better as compared to traditionally reducing carbon footprint by optimizing work inside the factory. So this is a more active approach.
I think I will have to get a little deeper into because step one is getting your product right, which you'll have understood and gotten that bit right. But the bigger challenge, what we are also forcing and what we're bringing to the table today is for you all to be very cognizant of the fact that there is going to be resistance, because if you're saying other countries have already adopted it and India hasn't, then clearly there is a clear need gap. And I think getting deep into what's happening, why are they not doing it, there must be a very clear reasoning as to why that's not happened so far. It's not that solutions didn't exist. There were solutions, but like you said, you guys have probably gotten better with the tech and all of that. But I think getting deeper into that and then going about, creating a roadmap, which is missing at this point. I think that's what we would urge you guys to take forward from this conversation.
Thank you for that feedback, ma'am.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, team. Next up, we have Team Beta X. And just a small note, I'm really sorry, judges, but some of the teams do have to leave a little bit early. So we would love if we could wrap this up by 11:30. And teams, please be mindful of your presentation time and the responses to the questions. Also, we have Sachin joining us from the team of Professor Solanki.
So, hi everyone. Please welcome Sachin, who is an electronics engineer currently working with Energy Swaraj Foundation. Formerly, he served as a project enabler at EMS company in India. He's an IEEE member for 6 years and currently an IEEE young professional. His research focuses on renewable energy, particularly solar, wind, and hybrid systems. He has worked with notable projects, including a solar wind hybrid system for Rashtrapati Bhavan and the solar power communication system for Ram Ranveer Dam. With a major paper on hybrid controllers, Sachin is dedicated to advancing renewable energy engineering and power systems. He secured a first position nationwide at the Kavach Ideathon supported by the Ministry of MSME Government of India. Sachin, welcome.
Thank you, Vedant. Thank you, Sachin, for joining. Team Beta X, you can start.
I'm audible?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So, good morning, jury members, fellow contestants, organizers, and our viewers. We are Team Beta X from IIM Jammu, and we will be focusing on green hydrogen. Hydrogen, the lightest element with possibly the heaviest impact. So, global hydrogen demand. Thank you so much. So, the global hydrogen demand for the year 2022 was about 90 million metric tons, which is expected to grow to about 211 million metric tons by 2030. Europe would require a considerable 8.2 million metric tons out of this global demand. Significant amount of this 8.2 million metric tons will have to be green hydrogen, as mandated by the RED III guidelines, RED as in the Renewable Energy Directives passed by the European Union Parliament. To explain how significant this demand is, I'd like to give you some numbers. A whopping 52% of the hydrogen used in the industry must be from the renewable fuel of non-biological origin. The two largest energy consumers of Europe, that is France and Germany, have estimated a production demand gap of about 2.3 million metric tons by 2030. The current hydrogen production of Europe can only fulfill 0.3% of Europe's demand, and this situation is here to stay. The Hydrogen Europe report of 2023 clearly mentions that 1/3 of the planned hydrogen projects in Europe are at a very nascent stage and have a high risk of being cancelled. Now, since majority of the hydrogen consumption takes place in the steel industry, followed by the e-fuel and the refining methods, we can say that the importance of hydrogen is immense. Next slide, please. So we've seen the curious case of Europe. Now we shall see why no other potential nation can better ours, that is India's prospect. China has set a target of around 2 lakh tons of green hydrogen production by 2025. And one of their major projects being the 500 megawatt Barbach Banner project. But this project will only be enough for domestic consumption. Now, Australia is targeting a production of upwards of 1.2 million metric tons by 2030, with some of their major projects being the Hydrogen Hub Gladstone project, which will contribute around 500 tons per year. According to the key global carbon hotspot report of 2024 to 2030, we can see that Saudi Arabia, UAE, and of course India are well placed to enter this market. But none of the above mentioned nations can actually have the Indian cost advantage, which is powered by the Green Hydrogen Mission, which targets a 5 million metric ton production by 2030. Now, based on all these factors, we plotted the country attractiveness matrix, where we can see that India lies on the most attractive, the top right quadrant, where the x-axis shows a low landed levelized cost, and the y-axis shows a higher infra ecosystem enablers. Now, my teammate Puneet will take ahead the discussion. Next slide, please.
So here we have already talked about the international production capacity. Now we'll look about the domestic production. Government PSUs like NTPC have recently planned a green hydrogen facility with a capacity of around 1200 tons per day in AP. After that, some private players like L&T have recently commissioned their first green hydrogen plant in Hazira, Gujarat. Even Government of India has launched the Green Hydrogen Mission 2030 with a total outlay of 19,000 crores. They have also launched a PLI scheme to support this with rupees around 13,000 for green hydrogen production and 4,000 for electrolyzer manufacturing. They're even targeting 5 million metric tons of green hydrogen by 2030 and 60 to 100 gigawatt electrolyzer installations. So while researching about a value chain, we came across these top 3 challenges, which were the renewable energy sources availability. Second is the immediate storage of green hydrogen. Third, as we know that the green hydrogen projects involve high capex and also have a high risk of cancellation. To overcome these challenges, we have proposed a supply chain solution in 3 parts: input source, processing, and the last mile delivery. The input source, for the input source, we are setting up our facility in the Mosali district in Gujarat, where we can easily source the renewable energy at a cost of around 2.67 rupees per kilowatt. And for the water, we can easily source it from Sardar Sarovar Dam. And India having the high demographic dividend with an average age of 28, we can easily get the manpower here. Next slide, please. So for the processing, we are procuring our electrolyzer from the companies like Pure and NEL at a cost of 40 lakhs with a capacity of 10 Newton meter cube. For the immediate storage of hydrogen, we are using high pressurized tanks of pressure about 350 bars. So we know that the hydrogen is very volatile in nature. For transferring hydrogen to short distance, we can transfer it using pipelines. But for to transport into a very large distance, we have to convert it into carrier forms. Here, the carrier we are using is the ammonia, and the process we are using is the Haber-Bosch process. After that, for the last mile delivery, we are transporting it from factory to the nearest port, which is Dahej port. As there is no railways line nearby, so we are transporting it by using trucks at a cost of around 17,000 rupees per 20 ton. Then from Dahej port, we are transporting it to the port of Marseilles by collaborating with the companies like Mars and Mediterranean Shipping Company at a cost of around 1.7 USD per kg of hydrogen. After that, for the networking and increasing our consumer base, we are networking with the Indian International Green Hydrogen conferences like Hydrogen Technology Expo, which is going to happen in Germany at 2024. Now I'll call my friend Prasanjit to go through the cost emission analysis.
So let us understand the unit economics for production of hydrogen. We will buy electricity from independent offshore as it is 11% cheaper as compared to on-premises electricity generation. We will convert hydrogen into ammonia. Why? Because it will give us cost advantage of just mere increase of $0.3 per kg of hydrogen versus high volatility of liquid hydrogen. Next, the water will be taxed around 41 rupees per 1000 liter as per Gujarat tax norms. So what would be the emission for producing green hydrogen? It would be around 2.8 kg of carbon dioxide per kg of hydrogen, which is way below than the European Union norms of 3.8 kg of carbon dioxide per kg of hydrogen. For the initial phase, we will plan to produce around 28 lakh kgs of hydrogen, which will lead to a total project cost of around $20 lakh. This is about the cost price of our hydrogen. What would be our selling price? The selling price should be less than or equal to the cost of production of hydrogen in European nations, which is given by levelized cost of hydrogen, which includes procurement cost, operation cost, maintenance cost, and cost of capital. As we can see from the graph, the cost of production is whopping 98% in European nations such as Germany and France as compared to India. Next, we will understand the financial project for next 5 years. The initial year will be completely used for setting up our plant. From next year, that is from 2025, our plant will be completely functional and gives us a revenue of approximately $30 lakh, which after deduction and tax will lead to a PAT of around $10 lakh. We will initiate the phase 2 in 2027 by increasing our capacity by 25%, which lead to an increase in profit by 37%. You might be wondering that why there is a decrease in profit in 2028. This is because the government of India gives us subsidies of $0.5 per kg of hydrogen for 3 years only, which will be utilized from 2025 to 2027. We have also done the break-even analysis and find out that the actual time for break-even would be approximately $2.5 years. So how we will fund our project? We will fund our project with the help of various MSME initiatives of Government of India like SMILE program, public sector bank loans, and credit guarantee fund schemes with an interest rate starting from as low as 8%. Thank you.
What is the total amount of funding required and how much is it available from government grants?
So total amount required is approximately $20 to $21, which is if we convert into Indian rupees would be approximately 70 to 20 crores. So if we look into these three scheme alone, it will provide us around 17 crores. The public sector bank will gives at max 5 crores. Credit guarantee fund gives us at max 2 crores, and SMILE program will gives us at max 10 crores.
Why would a public sector bank give you a loan of 5 crores if you don't have any revenue right now? Are there any government mandates here?
So, as because of the green hydrogen mission, the government is trying to push the production of green hydrogen as largely as possible. And sir, currently only
Yeah, but
L&T
are
is
the banks are businesses, right? In the end, like why would the public sector banks give you a loan of 5 crores?
Sir, I think there is a huge market in Europe which needs to be tapped, and it makes a genuine business case. So
Okay.
businesses want to be in profit anyway.
Okay. No other questions. Thanks.
So hi team. I think good job done on the overall presentation. I think especially that whole bit that you all touched upon, the liquid hydrogen being volatile and then the conversion into the ammonia bit. That's from the product perspective. I had a question on, I heard you mention that the CO2 emission is 2.8 versus the EU norm states it's below the EU norm of 3.8 or right?
Yes.
Just wanted to check, while this entire plan is rigged towards, there is a demand outside of India and therefore, this will work as a business. Is that 2.8 CO2 that you mentioned okay for India in terms of the pollution it's creating, in terms of what's happening here with that emission level? Because you said from the EU norm perspective, it's below. But what happens here where the production is actually happening?
Okay, so actually, India will categorize the hydrogen as green only if it is produced by the renewable energy, electric source such as a hydropower plant, nuclear power plant, or solar power plants. But India has also increasing the stringent norms at if we consider the emission, which is around 2 kg of carbon dioxide per kg of hydrogen.
So it's okay, you're saying, yeah?
No, we would.
You'll be adding more, right, than taking away.
According to the Indian norms, it should be around 2 kg. So, if we want to distribute in India, we will convert it into liquid hydrogen through with the help of pipes. We can develop their infrastructure of liquid hydrogen. But for the European Union, we have to transport it through the ammonia. So, if we if we convert it into liquid hydrogen, the emission would be around 1.35 kg of carbon dioxide per kg of hydrogen, which will be below the Indian norms.
But then the risk factor increases.
Yes.
Understood. Okay. I had another question on the proof of concept. I'm not sure if that was presented anywhere.
Okay. Ma'am, currently the similar project is been working in Hazira by L&T.
Right. For what y'all have proposed at this point, have you all gone and met with anyone, done any kind of primary study on your own?
No, ma'am.
Okay. That's all from my end. Thank you.
Thank you, judges. Thank you, team. Sachin, did you have any questions?
Not now. I have joined in the middle of the presentation, so maybe later.
All right, thank you. So next up, we have Team Cosmic. Please present your screen.
Is my screen visible? Yeah.
Yes.
So thousands have lived without love, no one without water. With this, we bring to you the problem of water pollution. Hi, I am Yash Gupta.
I am Jainil Shah, and we are Team Cosmic from IIM Shillong.
The water pollution. 2 billion people globally use a drinking water source contaminated with feces, leading to diseases like cholera, dysentery, and typhoid. 300 to 400 million tons of polluted water globally each year is discharged into water bodies. 8 million
tons of plastic waste enters the oceans annually, harming the marine species. Now, let's talk about India. 57 million people depend on Yamuna waters, and it accounts for 70% of Delhi's water supplies. But today, it is also referred as Delhi's dying holy river. 4.5 crores of government investment has been made during the Action Plan 3, which is proved ineffective. Now, coming on to the key statistics on pollutions in river. 91% of the pollution inputs is made based on the plastic waste. 17656 rivers contribute to the 80% of the plastic to the ocean. These are some of the statistics. Now, when we talk about India, India ranks second in the global plastic waste pollution made. So the greater question is it the end? No. Hence introducing the biochar. Now, what is biochar? It is a carbon-rich material produced from organic waste through pyrolysis. Now, what it does, basically, it sequesters carbon, reduces greenhouse emissions, hence making it a sustainable solution, making the carbon environment negative. Now, everyone is talking about SDG goals, making the environment carbon neutral. This material helps us go a step ahead and make the environment carbon negative. Now the process is self-explanatory. The organic waste goes in. There is a small pyrolysis plant, and there are 3 byproducts: biochar, syngas, and pyrolysis oil. Now, what are the characteristics of the biochar hence produced? 1 kg of biochar can sequester 1.8 to 3.3 kgs of CO2. Now, basically, this biochar contains 50 to 90% carbon, which helps it absorb the CO2. Moving on to the next slide. So, how we will approach this problem? Basically, for the implementation aspect, we'll create a net-like structure which will be embedded with biochar to trap pollutants and debris in the rivers. Now, it will be made smart by using these sensors, which will be taking account of how much the net is filled, and basically it will detect the types of pollutants. Now, so that it doesn't get lost, we'll be installing a GPS device to track the exact location of the net-based structure. It can be monitored through IoT in real time, and cloud storage can be used for data analysis and reporting. Now, this is not the end. A feedback is mandatory in every aspect. So a periodic assessment will be taken to evaluate the effectiveness of the biochar filtration system, and its performance will be optimized. Jalen, would you like to take forward the guesstimate?
Yes. So we have done here the cost benefit analysis based on the first prototype that is on the Yamuna River. And we have considered here that the perfect substitute of our product is the CETP, common effluent treatment plants. So we have calculated the average flow of the Yamuna River, which is 254 ml per day. So we have considered that, and the biochar usage, considering that total stretch of the Yamuna River, which is 100 meter, and the depth is 3 meter, which comes around to 900 tons of biochar, which is being used. Again, the cost, as of now, we have considered as the price taken from the Amazon for the biochar, which is 140 rupees per kg, which is also of the high yield. So the total cost comes up to be 12.6 CR for the biochar, which will be used in a single stretch. Also, we have considered the life of an biochar in a single stretch to be 2 months, considering that the total expense for the 5 years of the biochar can be 378 crores. And considering the 1 mld CTP usage, I mean the price of the cleaning of 1 mld from the water of from the CTP, considering that to be 12,767, and for the biochar with the use of our product, it will be around 8,126 rupees, which sums up to be total savings of 4,640 rupees approximately. So the total savings, considering the 254 mld of the water being flowed from that stretch, comes up to be 11 lakh 82,851. Now, coming to the carbon negativity, as Yash mentioned here, that this material, the biochar, absorbs the CO2 as well as the heavy metals out of the water. So, when we consider the CTP, it also consumes the energy, which is around 5,000 kilowatt hour per MLD. So we are not here using any type of energy as such. We are just monitoring. The energy consumed will be in the monitoring side of it, which is the IoT-based solutions, which we are facilitating here. And the total CO2 removed from the water in the atmosphere comes up to be say 1,652 tons as of now. To the next slide.
Yeah, just stating the advantages and disadvantages. Basically, carbon sequestration. It captures and stores carbon, mitigating climate change. It absorbs heavy metals, as mentioned by General. The disadvantages: initial setup might take some cost. It can be expensive, and high energy consumption during the pyrolysis process. Yeah. So coming on to the mission and vision of our company, Swachh Jal. Our mission is to combat water pollution while leveraging innovative carbon negative and environmental friendly materials, to integrate cutting edge technology to develop sustainable solutions and contribute to fight against climate change, and finally, to create a cleaner, healthier planet for our future generations. To achieve this, the vision basically is to be a global leader in sustainable water purification systems by fostering a culture of sustainability and responsibility, and to inspire communities worldwide. Finally, we envision a world where water pollution is a myth and problem of the past. So for this, we have done some comparative analysis. Now, coming on to the China, the product basically made is Orca. Now, the metrics are 25,000 tons of biochar produced annually through Orca. 45 million revenue has already been generated. 35,000 tons of CO2 sequestration has happened, and it has 1,12,000 of customer base. Now, if you can see this image, it's a robot. It's a swimming robot, which is deployed for cleaning, and it is remote controlled, and it can be set for a path, and it can be collected back after it has reached its capacity. Now, this for the China. The Asia part, we have already also considered Indonesia. The company's name is 7 Clean Seas. Now, it is not necessarily a technology-based thing, but it's a more Singapore-based company focused, basically an NGO focused on plastic removal. So they have already taken 300 cleanup operations and generated 2 million of revenue, and already removed 3,784 tons from the ocean. Coming on to some more companies, basically Germany Pyreg, Canada Pacific Biochar, UK Carbon Coal, and USA Cool Planet. Now, one more thing, some things to keep in mind is, if we see the Germany Pyreg part, it is also deploying a similar solution, although it is not a net-like structure what we have proposed and doesn't have any smart instruments, that it's a heavy, thick sheet which can be lowered down using a crane and has to be laid on the bedrock, basically river bedrock, which needs to be cleaned. Now, some of the disadvantages are it can't be cleaned easily. It let's say it has to be taken out using a crane, which makes it difficult to handle. Pacific Biochar, again, it is using the Blacklight Pure, and it is using wood biochar. It is not compulsorily made from the biocompost waste. So that is one of the disadvantages for it. Now, for the UK's Carbon Gold, it is using it in water filtration and some transportation related stuff, but it is not being used for river cleaning as of now. Now, the USA Cool Planet is involving technology. Basically, it has a mobile dashboard which can be shown, which sort of shows the energy savings, the carbon used, and all. So this company has involved the technological aspect into the biochar, but it hasn't used the biochar for river cleaning as such.
Next, coming to the total market, which is the addressable, we have considered as of now the Indian market only, considering the 1.4 billion people, and at the time, due to paucity of time, I will be just running out through these slides. So the time which is coming out here as the 1,344 billion annually, considering the 100 as an average price for urban and rural both. Now for the SAM, which is the serviceable available market, we have considered the urban market as our first target, considering the government and the industrial sectors only as of now. So considering 120.
I'm so sorry, your 10 minutes are up. We can move on to the questions now.
Yeah, just wanted to show this as the last slide. These are the estimated cost productions. So basically, marketing campaign will be acquiring 13%, sales and promotion 6%, operation buffer 6%, R&D 3%, tech dev 1%, legal and regulatory 1%, and salaries and wages 11%. Main part will be 51% of raw material supplies, and detailed things have been mentioned here.
Yeah, can you go back to your solution slide? You've proposed a net-like structure, right?
Yes.
Any specific reason for choosing that?
It becomes easier to operate now in case when let's take a case of Yamuna River, when the water is polluted so much that plastic waste are also present in addition to the heavy metals and other contaminants. It becomes easy to clean that and basically easy to take it out, and a crane-like structure like this might not be required. So that was our whole idea of, and the water flow will not be blocked, and the marine life will not be
Won't
disturbed.
nets,
So that was the whole idea.
Yeah, exactly. But won't they actually disturb the marine life? Nets?
No, it won't disturb the marine life because the net-like structure will be big enough, but it will not really disturb the marine life. And one more thing is, we have considered Yamuna water, where marine life is already supposed to be dead, basically. There is no
I'm
marine
aware
life
of that.
really.
Yeah, but you are looking at doing this countrywide, right? Not every river
Yeah.
will have the
Yes.
same
Just to
environmental
add on, sir.
deployment.
Yeah, sir. Just to add on, we are also planning this on the industrial part as well. So when the industrial area is there, so we can connect the fluent waters, and we can use this net-like structures there as well. Also, the part which we are considering placing this net-like structure is the place where the marine life is less, because we have considered the lesser depth of the water as of now. So we have considered as an assumption. Yes, we know that it is an assumption, but we have considered that at that point of the river bed, there won't be any marine life.
Okay. And is this a theory? Have you created a POC? What stage is it in right now?
So we had an MVP data. We had ordered a biochar, but basically we are living in a remote area, because of which we couldn't get it on time. But we have taken from trusted sources and research papers and some companies. This is the data picked up from them. So it is being used, but not on a big scale, and it is basically effective based on the studies.
Also, sir, just to add on this, regarding the groundwork, I have previously worked with Tata Consulting Engineers, where I used to develop CETPs. But the main problems with the CETPs are that they are not already functioning. But I mean, like only 10% of the CETPs which are developed in India are actually functioning and giving out the output of the water which is required as per the government norms. So there is an issue with the CETP structure as well. So the idea came from that only, that if CETP is not working, then what? So due to that, we are thinking on substituting that CETP structure to this biochar framework.
Cool. I think it really needs a little bit more real world study implementation, I think. But otherwise, yeah, I think it's definitely, I think there is a potential there, but you'll have to test it out. Sure. That's all from me. Samyukta.
Thank you, sir.
So team, good job done. And I think, yeah, it's interesting. But like you all were just told, I think little more depth is probably needed. And I think little first-hand getting a sense, feel, I think that there's no substitute for that ever. So I think just get your hands a little dirty, no pun intended, but yeah, like just like ensure that you do so. If you could walk me through your marketing plan, it would be nice.
So, ma'am, we are planning to reach out to the government as of now in the Amrut scheme. So, in the Amrut scheme 2.0, which is being rolled out by the government, which is including available drinking water with the sewage water and tap water as well. So, in the sewage sector, it is around 67,000 crores of funding which is being given to us, to the every state and the central part. So we are thinking to tap onto that. Also, we are thinking to go to the industrial sector, because on the part of the CSR also, companies are providing the funds to have the sustainable drinking water as well. So we are thinking on that part as a second option. But firstly, we are targeting the government only. So
Okay. And have you again here done any initial work in terms of understanding how this could work?
You mean to say the prototype of this product?
Yes, like I know proof of
Ma'am,
concept been done, but you said remote part, we heard that bit. But in terms of like, did you just call up any of the organizations or speak to any of the CSR teams? Did you
Ma'am, one of the research which we did was in IIM Shillong itself. There are some water bodies which are not clean enough. So we gathered some. So we have different clubs pertaining to that as well. But one of them is eco-based. So we had a collaboration with them to try to gather some data in and around Shillong. And this project might be a pilot project for them as well. So yes, we have done some first-hand studies, but still, as we said, that because of the unavailability of biochar, being at a remote area, Shillong, an area of Shillong. So once we get our hands on that, we might be able to prove its effectiveness here in IIM campus as well.
But you haven't really spoken to anybody, even like otherwise, online or otherwise, right? As of now.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Got it. Okay, I wish you all the best. It's an interesting concept. Yeah, we'd urge you to kind of continue and hope this sees the light of day.
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, guys. I have few questions. So this concept is like seems to be a very well developed concept, but just few technical questions. This like given the because you have mentioned about Yamuna, so given the high levels of ammonia and phosphates in Yamuna, like how effective this biochar is neutralizing the specific contaminants?
So I think we know for sure that it is used to absorb the heavy metals as such. Currently, I think we lack the data as of now. We didn't think in terms of ammonia as such, but it is pretty effective. That's what I can say.
So by any
Jane,
chance,
do you want to add something?
by any chance, like have you tested your biochar method like on sections of Yamuna which are like severely
No, sir, we haven't. Again, the prototyping and the basically the implementation part is remaining. We also thought about how to do that. Then one of the constraints which we might face is the government permission to really test it out on Yamuna. We don't know if it's allowed or we can just go and put our structure. But yeah, we thought of that, but still we are waiting for the MVP things to be done, and then maybe we can scale up.
And this because cleaning the Yamuna has been a very costly factor for the governments in the past. So how does the cost of your biochar solution compare to existing methods used in Yamuna action plans?
Yeah. Yes, can you move to that estimate slide?
Yeah.
Sir, as of now, we have considered the price of biochar as in 140 rupees per kg from Amazon. But yes, when we bulk buy it, it will come down to somewhere around 70 rupees, which will be half of this price. So yeah, and building up the IoT cost will add up to this. So somewhere around we have estimated that for the first prototype and for the first functional unit, we will need around 12.5 CR as of now.
No, so my question is, even you scale it in future, no? So like from the existing plan that is being implemented across various rivers, or specifically when you mentioned about Yamuna, so any comparison that you have made?
Yes, sir. We have considered the perfect substitute as in CETP. So the savings comes out to be 4,640 as in per MLD,
Per?
and the total per MLD, million liters per
Okay,
day.
okay, okay.
Yeah, so that is the per MLD cost we are getting 4,640 lesser, which is for the CTP, it is around 12,000. So that is the cost effective way of doing it. But yes, we have not as of now done the prototyping of it. So also
And the
for the
total
prototyping
savings
we require.
also,
Sorry, sir.
yeah, the total savings also, Janil. Basically, total savings per day we have projected for the whole CTP alternate is this. So
Okay, okay. Good job, guys. Yeah, all the best.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, team. Thank you, judges. Next up, we have team SRCC. Please present your team.
Yeah, just a second. I'll share my screen. Hi, is my screen visible?
Yes, please start.
Okay, just a second. Okay, I'll be starting in. Okay, in 3, 2. A very good morning to one and all. Team SRCC presents Cacti Couture. So before we start with our presentation, I would like you to have a look at these pictures. Can you identify which one of them is made up of cactus leather and which one of them is made up of animal leather? It's difficult to identify, right? That's what we do at Cacti Couture. So we at Cacti Couture are a community of young innovators, passionate farmers, and empowered women creating a sustainable luxury brand with cactus leather and nurturing our planet. So the question arises: what is the need of cactus leather, and why do we need to replace the animal leather? Answer is, for creating 1 ton of hide of animal leather, we generate around 45,000 to 67,000 of liters of wastewater, and 70% of the untreated hide is just thrown into environment as waste. 40% of the tannery workers suffer from various diseases because of the chromium and other polishing materials that are used in animal leather, and 2 billions of animals are annually killed just for leather production. That amounts to the total population of India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Nepal cumulatively. So what solution do we offer? Cactus leather it is. It requires 98% less water, highly durable, highly versatile, no irrigation, no very easy growing conditions, and whatnot. So what impact are we trying to create? Firstly, as mentioned before, environment, water savings, and carbon reduction. Just 1% shift to cactus leather can cut millions and tons of carbon dioxide. Secondly, we help farmers to diversify their incomes. We primarily target farmers of arid regions and help them for poverty reduction. Thirdly, we preferably hire women. So we are providing them empowerment, and not just women, it will increase their whole household income by 25 to 30%. So coming to business, we are majorly a B2B target brand, and we'll be collaborating with various brands and various industries in following phases. Firstly, we'll collaborate with brands like Adidas, Decathlon, Woodland, and local brands like Sri Leather for fashion, for providing them shoes and sports care. Secondly, we can collaborate with IKEA and Neil Kamal for leather sheets for furniture. Third, automotive industry for car interiors. And fourth, we can have the honor of collaborating with Government of India for supplying leather shoes for defense services. So what is our value proposition? Firstly, we are eco-friendly, sustainable brand, and we can help brands fulfill their corporate social responsibility. Secondly, due to the high molecular bonding of cactus, we are highly durable, versatile, and high quality leather brand. Thirdly, and most importantly, we provide tailored, customized solutions for various industries, as shown above in the B2B target industry strategy. So over to you, Bhavika.
Sure. So to answer upon a question that may arise as to why collaborations and why are we focusing so much on collaborations and partnerships? Well, we do realize that people, especially in India, might hesitate to, just make purchase from a brand which is so new and is just coming across with a new concept. But brands like Adidas, Decathlon, Woodland, they already do have an established market, a loyal audience, which is ready to buy from them. And more so, these brands are now also looking forward to their sustainability initiatives. For example, even Woodland has an initiative called Pro Planet, wherein they're trying to introduce more sustainable concepts throughout their production. And they do deal in leather as well. So this can be a great pitch for us to reach out to them. And as of the composition of the proportions of goods that we'll be supplying, as already mentioned, we'll be primarily focusing on shoes. But in the longer run, we do want to focus more on collaborating with car firms and furniture giants, supplying our leather sheets to them. Now, to talk about the other vegan leather options that are available and what made us choose cactus leather only. So to talk about flower leather, it particularly depends on specific flower types and has very low reliant technology. There isn't no full proof that this could be a scalable business or this could actually be helpful in creating a good quality leather. To talk about pineapple leather, it is highly dependent on its leaves, which can even get rotten very easily. Another variant is mushroom leather, but we are pretty much aware of the thriving conditions for mushroom, which makes it less viable and less scalable. And also the coconut leather, besides the supply chain challenges and the chemical requirements to make sure that leather is processed, the region-specific nature of coconut makes it hard. However, to talk about cactus, as already mentioned, it has very minimal requirements, can even grow on degraded land, which is not suitable for any other crops, and has low production costs and low chemical requirements as compared to other, makes it a 10 on 10 to move ahead with this option. Yash, you can take forward.
Moving ahead, let's discuss the life cycle analysis of animal leather and cactus leather as per ISO standards. In order to understand the environmental impact associated with all the stages of product's life cycle, the first criteria that we have considered is cumulative energy demand, and it can be clearly seen that latter is about 10 times for animal leather as compared to cactus leather. The second criteria is greenhouse gases emitted by animal leather, that is about 20 times that of cactus leather, showing us clearly which one is preferable. Apart from it, animal leather also causes 6 times the eutrophication per square meter of leather as compared to cactus leather. And the stark contrast between the 32.95 cubic meters for animal leather for water usage as compared to 0.02 cubic meter for cactus leather water usage emphasizes the water intensive and water wastage nature of animal leather production. The last metric, that is incineration, takes into account the greenhouse gases emitted when the waste from the product is incinerated, which is also 20 times for the animal leather as compared to cactus leather. Coming to the production process, now, we can divide it basically into 3 broad phases. The first phase is harvesting and preparation. As the name suggests, it covers growing and drying cactus leaves for further processing. The second phase is bioresin production, which mainly covers crushing these dry leaves and mixing them with non-toxic dyes and natural dyes, non-toxic formulas and natural dyes to provide for bioresin solution. The final phase consists of pouring bioresin into a carrier material like cotton to achieve leather-like texture and inspection in order to ensure the quality and durability of the product is at par with the industry standards. Now coming to the marketing and sales strategies, as for the initial phases, we have already mentioned we are targeting the B2B segment only. So partnership with big brands like already established brands like Adidas and Decathlon can be one way. Apart from it, we can also target homegrown brands like Sri Leathers, and it can also we can also show our products at trade shows and expo in order to increase their visibility among the manufacturers and potential customers. Now, sustainability certifications like GOTS, that stands for Global Organic Textile Standards, will show that our products are prepared organically and through a sustainable production method. We can also use digital marketing methods like SEO optimization and AI calling in order to bulk target people or bulk target clients for lead generation. And content marketing can also be used for creating awareness by using blogs as a way to ensure that people learn about why cactus leather is better than animal leather. Over here, we also have the SWOT analysis of the industry. Bhavika, you can go ahead with that.
Dipanshi, next slide. Yeah. So talking more about the feasibility of our idea. So firstly, I'd like to mention the particular species that we're going to be using. That is nopal cacti. As a research has shown that nopal cacti or prickly pear cactus is the one that can be used for this. Moving across the demand for leather. So according to Invest India, India produces about 13% of the global leather production, which indicates a good level of demand for leather products over here. And considering the negative consequences the traditional leather has, I think our leather alternative has to be a win-win situation. Thanks to also the strong molecular bonding of cactus, it helps us make our leather very durable and very versatile. And also to highlight a cherry on the top, that is the WDC PMKSY scheme launched by the government, wherein they're promoting nopal cactus growth, especially on degraded lands, which can be utilized for a lot of purposes after bioleather. Just to reiterate, we never use the whole plant from scratch. It's just the leaves that are used, which can be grown back, and also the rest of the cactus plant can be used for further purposes, such as for biofertilizers or for fodder as well. To talk about the financial analysis, here we have a screenshot of the income statement till the 6th month, wherein we can showcase that we have calculated a profit of around 3 lakhs by the 6th month, considering the assumption and the orders we have made, which we have in our financial model. And the contribution structure just beneath that indicates the composition of the cost and contribution in shoes and sheets, while the right-hand side bar chart, the third one, particularly can indicate that shoes do offer us a higher contribution margin. Apologies for that. Yeah. And beside that, here's a case study on Deserto, the brand which is originated in Mexico and which thankfully gifted us this idea of cactus leather to the world. What we want over here is to help them enhance their vision. While their major chunk operations are in Mexico and USA only, this challenge is about global sustainability, and even their vision is, and that is what even we are catering towards. We want to have a vision like them. We want to bring in the sustainable impact in India and all across the globe. So this slide is basically a case study to give them the credit for the idea that they've originated in, and on the basis of research that we could come across with, hopefully to make a good collective social impact out there across the globe. With that, we believe that we have pitched across our product, our business idea, our motive to bring a transformation out there to you, and we are open to your questions. This shall be Team SRCC signing off.
First of all, great job with the presentation, guys. Good design as well, and love the energy. I think you guys have done a comparison, price comparison of cactus leather with animal leather, but I have not seen the price comparison with other faux leather options, right? And from what I know, cactus leather is more expensive than other faux leather options.
So as of the research that we have done, the comparison was basically of the impact that we do on the environment. It was not the price comparison. And also talking about Deserto brand, that we were like focusing on the originated brand, and the moreover research that we could conduct. What we have come across is that cactus leather is competent to animal leather, even in terms of pricing, especially in economies of scale. Of course, initially our pricings could be high, but we are aiming to bring in the cost low, and of course it is a B2B, so we don't expect a very high profit margin as well. So that is another aspect we would like to.
Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So Dipanshi, great opening on the whole. I think
Thank you,
got everyone like rocking with the presentation. Yeah, and I think very beautifully presented. I think the energy that you kind of started off with, the high energy that you started off with, I think your team also did a great job in kind of sustaining it throughout. And Bhavika, you also did a good job in kind of, bringing it all together. So great job done there. Just a quick question on, I think I heard you say that y'all are going to be focusing on shoes, and y'all did quote brands like Adidas and Decathlon, and there were a few brands that y'all had quoted. Which market, I mean, y'all have analyzed the leather market in India and, the demand for leather. But have you looked at other markets? I mean, you did mention automobile, but within fashion itself, why shoes and not bags, for example? Why are you picking shoes first?
Shall I take on this answer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to start off with, as of the research that we could do, manufacturing of handbags could be a bit more complicated procedure. So to start off with, we just wanted to focus on simplifying the process by supplying shoes. And of course, we can supply the leather sheets according to the various thickness requirements. Like we can range from 1 millimeter to around 6 millimeters in the leather sheets, and we can supply it further to the handbag manufacturers. So it's just that to simplify the process, in initial moments, we are focusing on shoes because it will also provide us a good margin, which could be good for us to sustain this business, because of course we need to cover up our costs as well while ensuring the sustainable impact we are creating. Handbags, of course, as you mentioned, we would love to diversify across as we run across the business to make sure that the impact does not just stick to shoes, but we can actually make cactus leather a replaceable option for any animal leather product out there, be it leather handbags or even leather jackets for that case. So yeah, we're open to that, and absolutely, we do agree to your point that we should focus on more options as well.
Understood. And I think I also heard you all mention that from an ease perspective, you're going to focus on B2B and not get into B2C at all. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Bhavika, would you like to take over that?
Yeah, sure. Again, just to reiterate, the B2B plan is basically the market entry strategy. And honestly, we would also like to thank the mentor that we got. We had a better clarity on that. Again, I did mention an example. We are focusing on India, right? So people might hesitate in place of when it comes to, buying goods from a brand which is not even familiar and is coming across with a whole new concept out there. So in order to make sure a brand is familiar with the audience, they know that, okay, something like cactus leather exists and it is as durable as the original one. We were trying to capture in the market through that. So that was a market entry strategy and shall remain for a longer run. However, this is also about creating the impact, right? So in the longer run, we would of course love to make this business B2C as well. Maybe via e-commerce, considering that can be an easier one, requiring lesser investment also. But throughout the years, we would love to make it a B2C brand also. Again, an inspiration can be drawn to a brand we also mentioned called Shri Leathers, which is like a leather brand, which is a completely homegrown brand, which was originated in Calcutta and has been running for more than 3 decades and targets the middle income. It is completely leather based. So we can draw inspiration from that. And of course, we can make this brand B2C as well. But again, that's in the longer run. We just wanted to simplify and focus more on the initial part over here. And yeah, that's what the approach that we have over here.
Have you spoken to anyone about this concept in India? You said your inspiration came from Spain.
Mexico, Deserto.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Have you run this concept? Is there any proof of concept that exists for what you have presented?
Yeah, so there are basically two. Dipanshu, do you want to take this?
Yeah. So for proof of concept, as for now, we haven't done anything primary research, but we have relied on secondary data for the viability of cactus leather in international market as well. And for proof of concept, we have certifications of Deserto, like cactus leather in itself is a feasible option because they have maximized the amount of cactus leather within a cactus leather bag
Lily,
up to
sorry
90%.
to stop you here. When I say proof
Yeah.
of concept, I mean in India, have you all run this concept with anyone here to kind of get a sense check of what will
There
be
are two brands actually in India, Arthur and Sursa, which are actually operating in cactus leather.
And how are they doing?
So we've relied upon secondary data for that.
Okay. Okay. And from a marketing standpoint, there were a few things that you all had mentioned. Who are you all going to be targeting? How do you plan to kind of tap into this market of getting people or getting manufacturers to kind of now switch to cacti as the fall leather option as opposed to any other vegan leather that's available?
I'm sorry, I had like an audio issue. Could you please just reiterate your question?
How do you plan to pitch this cacti leather to manufacturers as opposed to any other fall leather option that's available right now?
Of course. So I think there are a few points that I would like to mention on that. Of course, firstly, we know the growing demand for sustainability, right? So one aspect can be that they can launch in a whole new sustainable segment, like over there, like as also mentioned, even Adidas did it to ensure that they're selling boxing gloves entirely made of cactus leather. So that was the sustainable segment that they had launched, and so did even H&M. That can be one aspect. Another aspect is that government has pretty less taxes when it comes to sustainable manufacturing as compared to the other goods. So that can be another pitch which is beneficial from them for their business point of view as well. We can also cater to their social responsibility. And of course, if they launch in something which is absolutely organic, they can ensure good publicity as well. They can come in the good eyes of the public. And of course, overall, the collective, the main notion to bring the sustainable impact, they can have their contribution towards that as well. So, of course, it's not going to be as smooth as I'm just iterating the points. It will have its own challenges. But as of the research we could do and other knowledge we do possess, like being undergraduates, this is what the pitch that we could think across, we can put across to them. More like how deals and negotiations are done is about a later part, which I feel like challenges are going to come and go in every businesses. And yeah.
I'm just going to leave you with one thought. I think you will have to get a little deeper in terms of understanding what's already there in the market. How is it being utilized currently? What are the companies that actually truly care about sustainability? If that's your entire pitch and not necessarily cost, like you said, then I think you need to kind of reevaluate how you're going to kind of pitch this narrative to anyone that you're going to be approaching tomorrow. You'll also have to probably select who you're going to be approaching with the same storyline in place.
Sure. We'll talk to
Good job done again.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
My only one question, because in India, sustainability is always a big question when it comes to cost. So, like, one thing is like, how can you this leverage the Make in India, like this such initiatives comes to this leather industry or this cactus leather industry production, one thing. Second is, how can you educate these Indian consumers about cactus leather as an alternative to traditional leather? Because when it comes to coming up with organic leathers, it is especially the tier 1, tier 2 city may focus on that, but the major consumers lie in tier 3, tier 4. So this educating them about the alternative of the traditional, any plans around that side? Yeah.
So for this is a reason why we chose to collaborate with brands and then sell, not selling directly, because brands like Adidas or let's say Sri Leather itself, it has a trusted audience of itself. And considering the rise in the there is a rise in the awareness of people for sustainable fashion and sustainable leather, we think if these brands go and sell cactus leather, it would create a better impact and awareness in itself among the audience.
But do you think because Sri Leather always mentioning a pure leather brand and they have a business established since years and years, so they'll allow you to do so? I have a big question mark on this.
So if that is why we're not
Any
sticking to one
discussions
brand.
you made with such people around in the market?
So we could not get like primary data as said before, but we've only solely relied upon the secondary data, and we've relied upon the data like the growing market for plant leather or vegan leather in India. So
Uh,
that is what we relied upon as for now.
okay, last couple of questions. One is like,
Yeah.
can you put some idea on the durability? When like, how does this cactus leather compare to traditional leather in durability?
Sure, sir. Can I take this question? Yeah,
Yeah.
so as already mentioned, like the particular species that we are using, the nopal cacti, it has a very strong molecular bonding, making it apt for leather. More so to talk about like how it is compatible, the texture of the plant in itself is more so we extract the powdered protein from its fibers, which is then combined with the bioresin, which makes it absolutely durable and if not more than animal leather. The studies state that, and also like as of the competitors that we have seen across in India, like one primarily being Sarja, which mainly deals